Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Red Devils Experience. How you all doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Frenkie De Jong saga potentially back on. We have multiple credible sources, maybe mid-tier, you would say, reporting this. Daily Mail, Sport, Manchester Evening News. We're going to delve right into this. Before we do we still need him? Do you still want him? How much is he going to cost? Should we believe this story? Is it just another ploy for him to get a contract extension because they are negotiating terms? Barcelona are looking to get his wage down because he is still the highest paid player and they are still struggling financially. So is this just another PR type of stunt for him to get the money that he wants? Does he still actually want to stay at Barcelona? We're going to cover all this. Before we do, real quick, please smash the like button. We greatly appreciate it. It takes 2 seconds of your time and it really helps us out. So please, if you could do that, it really, really helps. If you haven't already, subscribe and also turn on the notifications so that you know when we drop videos. And we are coming with live videos. We have everything set up to do live videos. So we want to see you all in there interacting, putting out your opinions, and let's have a conversation. Really excited for this. And then we are going to set up some type of a live call-in show somewhere in the near future after we get the live shows rolling. So really excited for that. So please, thank you for your continued support. We greatly appreciate it. Let's get right straight into the story. So from the Daily Mail, United, who made a 70 million bid for De Jong when Erik Ten Hag first took over, and it was reported to be 90% complete. Club representatives went to Spain, but United were unable to formalize a deal, with Frenkie De Jong coming out and admitting that he wanted to stay at La Liga despite the interest from Manchester United. So, according to Relevo, I don't know who that is. Sorry for the bad pronunciation. Somebody is a Spanish, I don't know if it's a paper or a Spanish journalist, but they're saying the defensive midfield, the situation this summer will be completely different, with there now being a willingness from both the player and the club to part ways. De Jong is reportedly disappointed with the club's current position and believes expectations have not been met, particularly when it comes to challenging for the Champions League. De Jong has not been exempt from those on-field failures. He's made 15 appearances in La Liga this term, but has been far from the version of himself that prompted a clamor for his services in 2019. Barcelona, dire financial woes also persist, with players like De Jong still receiving outstanding wages that had been deferred from even more trying economic times. All of this reportedly equates to a willingness from the club's hierarchy to cash in on a player that still retains a high market value. Also, coming from Sport, according to Sport, the Dutchman's future at Barcelona remains uncertain, with the midfielder understood to be open to a potential exit in the upcoming summer transfer window if a suitable offer is tabled. Despite efforts to negotiate a contract extension, no progress has been made, raising doubts about the continuity at the club. The situation is compounded by De Jong's status as the highest paid player in the squad, with talks of substantial earnings exceeding 20 million euros. That's 70 million pounds and $25 million net annually for the last 2 seasons after he compromised on his wages during the pandemic. Barcelona's sports director Deco has attempted to initiate discussions for a contract renewal until 2029, aiming to adjust the player's salary distribution over an extended period. However, negotiations have stalled, and the club may need to consider selling one of their key assets this summer, despite the player previously resisting a sale as he wishes to succeed at Barcelona. And the last bit of news that we want to talk about on this story, Manchester Evening News said, short and sweet, long-term Manchester United target Frenkie De Jong could yet leave Barcelona in the summer. Reports from Spain suggest a man named Luis Canut, I hope I'm saying that right, or Cannot, says Frenkie De Jong is not closing the door on leaving Barcelona this summer, end quotations. He then goes on to explain, due to the delay in his wage payment this season, he is the one who receives the most money, 24.8 million euros, which is at the top of the Barca salary scale. So I just want to. Okay, so Sport said 20 million, and this guy 20 million euros, and this guy's saying 24.8 million. So it's around in that region. So I want to talk about this because I'm sure this is going to attract a lot of interest. I'm sure there's still many Manchester United fans out there that really want him, and I'm sure they're willing to pay a very premium price for him. Um, my initial thoughts is Frenkie De Jong. He's a very good player, obviously. He's still very young. I believe, I want to say, let me look this up real quick. I believe, how old is he? I just want to see his age. He is 26 years old. So he is pretty much basically right in the perfect age that we probably would be looking for. 26 years old. You can sign him to a 4 or 5 year contract that takes him to 30, 31 years old. It goes right through the middle of his prime. The only probably concern is that he's going to want a lot of money in terms of wages, and we are a club that are looking to reduce our wage bill as well. Ironically, is probably the reason why Barcelona are looking to get rid of him as well. So Manchester United, the situation that we're in, that we're looking to get rid of players that are on such a high wage, cut the wage bill, bring it back to some type of normalcy because, it's been completely out of proportion for the last few years, more than few years, like 10 years pretty much, since Ferguson retired. So I don't know if this fits into what Ineos is trying to do. Now I've been arguing at a club, I feel like you can have one or two players that get paid a high wage, but everybody else has to be on a normal wage. They cannot be getting overpaid. Now I don't know how Ineos, Sir David Brailsford want to go about this. Maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want everybody on the lowest wage they could possibly get them, which would be considered, I guess, more fair because everybody would have sort of the same wage. Something kind of like Manchester City. Like, yes, I think De Bruyne earns more money, but it's not substantially more than all the other stars that they have. But also, their players compared to our players and their players winning trophies and being successful, they're getting paid a lot less than our players. You would think the wages should be reversed. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I feel like it's far too early. We're in February. I think it's too early to get all hyped up about this. Especially because they are in contract negotiations, or they have been trying to negotiate some type of a new contract that would have them stay, I think, till 2029. So they could just be using our name once again. De Jong's agent could be throwing this out there because they know that we were very interested in him. They know that we put out an offer. If it wasn't for the fact that he wanted to stay at Barcelona, he probably would have left and he would have came with us. Because we were in for him, we offered a substantial fee. So I think don't be 100% 90% club. It's February. It's way too early. There's negotiations going on. This could just be the agent trying to leverage, trying to force Barcelona. At the same time, Barcelona are also saying, apparently from the club, that they would be willing to sell him. So this could just be a back and forth between the player's agent and Barcelona people. Because when Frenkie De Jong, he did say that I want to stay at Barcelona for life. So maybe they know that he doesn't really want to leave. Maybe they're trying to force his hand and saying, well, listen, if you're willing to leave, we're willing to sell you. We don't really care. We could use the cash. Listen, you get paid a lot of money. We're happy to keep you if you want to lower your wage. But if you're not willing to lower your wage, we have no problem cashing in on you. We need money. We're still kind of in financial trouble here. We can't be affording to pay all this money, and also you're not even performing as good as you were. So you're not. Are you really worth the wage that we're giving you? And they would argue probably no, and they need to lower it. So this is all business at the end of the day. Now, as time goes on, if more breaking news comes out, and statements are being made like Barcelona, the contract negotiations have broken down. Maybe a Fabrizio Romano comes out and says he will indefinitely be leaving in the summer. Then I think we could start getting a little bit more hyped. But otherwise, I think right now we got to keep a level head. It's okay to discuss. I think there's never a problem giving your opinion on any topic. So do we need him? Do you want him? I want to know. So put it down in the comments after the video. My thoughts on it. He's a very, very good player. I like him a lot. He's slightly different to Casemiro, but he still, I guess, would fit Ten Hag's plan. And it was reported earlier today, I believe, that Ineos are looking to still give Ten Hag one more season after this season, so because they want to see him follow out his plan for Manchester United. This is what's being reported. So if that's true, that was his number one target from the second he walked in this door. And there has been talks of Casemiro being moved on. Listen, if you can move Casemiro on for 50, 60 million, depending on who's offering what, maybe a Saudi team comes in and they offer that type of money. He is on a high wage and he is getting kind of old. So I think it would be smart to cash in on him, even though I love Casemiro and I love the job he does for us in the midfield. But you're asking me, if you're gonna cash in on him to get Erik ten Hag's number one target, it would strictly benefit the way that he was trying to set Manchester United up to play. Frenkie De Jong is 26, so he's gonna give you at least a good 4 or 5 years. And he's a very talented player. This isn't some Joe Schmo. This isn't some guy that maybe it'll work out in the future, maybe not, we got to see what happens. He's an established player. He plays very, very, very well. I like the style of play he does. He offers defense, he offers going forward. So I think it would be a good acquisition. The only concern that I have would be the wages that he would want on top of the transfer fee that Barcelona would try to get. Now, where the concern drops down a little bit is previously I would be very worried because I would be very worried about being ripped off. Because obviously we had dumb people doing transfer negotiations and they had absolutely no clue what they're doing, and we overpay for players like Anthony, for example, Harry Maguire. There's tons of players. I could do a whole show on how many players we overpaid and the wages we overpaid. With Sir David Brailsford, Ineos, Bertra, I think we don't have to worry about that because I think they're very well aware that that has caused problems for Manchester United. It has led to us being unsuccessful, and I don't think they're going to allow it to happen. So that might mean that we actually don't end up with Frenkie De Jong because they are going to go into negotiations and they are going to try and get us the best possible price. Barcelona tries to rip us off. Frenkie De Jong's agent tries to rip us off in terms of wages, and Barcelona tries to rip us off in terms of a transfer fee. They will walk away from the deal and they will go get somebody else. Which I believe, it's the right thing to do, even though he is the number one target, and I would love for him to come. But I don't think we need to worry about that because these guys are very well aware. They're making a lot of changes. So I think, this is something that we keep one eye on, but we keep it on the back burner for now because it's February and it's way too early to be buying in the hype, and there's all sorts of different stuff that has to play out first. These are just initial reports. It could just be paper talk. It could be from the agent, like I said. So now some of you might be thinking, well, what about Kobbie Mainoo? How is this going to hurt his progress? Listen, if the club's looking to move on Casemiro, there's reports that Christian Eriksen are going, right? Most of us would say maybe if you get an offer for 40 million, sell Scott McTominay. I mean, that's 3 midfielders right there. So we would probably end up needing another midfielder anyway. Right? So, if you get Frenkie De Jong and you have Kobe Mainu and you still have Bruno and you have Mount, um, we probably need another midfielder on top of that. Maybe we pull through another youngster. But listen, it's good competition, and Kobe is playing his part right now, and Kobe's doing his thing. So somebody will have to get dropped out of that midfield. Maybe Kobe plays the defensive mid, and maybe Frankie plays the box to box, and Bruno plays up top. I feel like that's still a very balanced midfield, or maybe the opposite. Maybe Frankie plays more defensive, and Mainu plays the box to box, and Bruno plays up top at cam. So, I still think that's a very balanced and very good midfield. So, and I don't think it'll hurt his progress too much. Because listen, if you're good enough, you're gonna play. If you're playing well enough, you're gonna play. So, I think Erik Ten Hag has shown that he's been playing Kobe. He's not dropping him, and Kobe's been developing very well. But also, Kobe's doing what Kobe has to do. I mean, Kobe's showing up to training, and he's putting in the hard work, and that doesn't go unnoticed by the manager, and he's been rewarded for that. So I understand sometimes people get frustrated because certain players don't get chances, or it feels like they're not getting chances. But listen, there's a lot that goes into this. You don't just get a chance because you get a chance because somebody else is playing bad. You also have to be doing, you have to be doing the hard work in the background to while you're waiting for your chance, and if you're not doing that, if you're showing up to training and you're going through the motions, or you're performing badly in training, why should you get a start? The player that maybe is playing bad on the pitch, but this guy is staying an hour after a training, or he's doing well in training, but it's not translating to the pitch. There's a lot of factors that go into here. So I don't think it would hurt Kobe. I really don't. I think it would actually help him. Frenkie De Jong, very experienced player. He can learn from him as well. It's not like Kobe's never going to play again. It's not like Kobe's never going to start again. So I don't think we have to worry about that. But those are my 2 cents on this. We're going to keep an eye out on it, and we're going to have Red Devil recap coming up after the Villa game for sure. I'm going to try to do it live. If I can't do it live, we'll do a video, and then we'll go from there. Due to some circumstances, but I'm going to try to do it. So otherwise, I want everybody to have a fantastic day. Please remember, smash the like button if you haven't already. 2 seconds of your time really helps us out. Share if you can. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss anything. And get down in those comments below. I want to hear from you. Put in your opinion. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Come on. Tell us what you feel. Tell us what you think about this. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Have a great and wonderful day. Good morning, good night, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. And we'll see you guys later. Peace out.